Hello, my name is Darcel Woods. I'm with Trinity Employment Specialists. I am the travel nurse recruiter here. And what we're doing here at Trinity is building on our travel nurse contract base. And so with that, as I've done this for about 15, 20 years, I love what I do. I care about my nurses that I've worked with in the past. And I just wanted to bring a new perspective to travel nursing and by educating nurses, because you call most agencies and they just want you to send the resume, go through your job history, find your job, send your pay package, then they put you on the job. We want to educate you. We want to build a relationship with you. We want to be more personal. Not so much personal as far as getting in your personal business, but personal to let you know that we're here for you no matter if you're on a contract, if you're not on the contract. I believe in calling my nurses weekly, because you're away from your home, your family. I would like to call you and just check on you on a weekly basis to find out if there's anything that we can do. Do you have any issues you would like to discuss? Things of that nature. So if that's something that might be of interest to you, please reach out to me at 918-622-2588. In this segment, I want to talk about the different states that you could go to travel. Everybody wants to go to Florida come the wintertime. So Florida is one of those states everybody wants to go, and nurses flock to Florida. Only thing about Florida, going on a contract, your pay is a little less. Now, don't get me wrong, you still make anywhere from $1,700 to $1,900 a week. Most of that is tax-free. But I think the benefit of why nurses want to go to Florida is because they're on the beach. You work that 36 hours, you're on the beach. And I suggest, instead of trying to stay in a hotel, do an Airbnb. Airbnb, even though you get that housing stipend, you might get for a stipend $1,000. If you stay in a hotel, you're going to spend that at least a third or fourth of your money. But if you get an Airbnb, you could rent a home with other nurses as you work with, and y'all split the cost, and you probably end up paying $100 and something a week. So now you're pocketing most of your money, which is a good factor. So that's what you're looking at as far as going to Florida with the beach. Then you could go to California. California, let me tell you, you can make really good money, because Florida laws are different. Anytime, even though you're working a 12-hour shift in California, California, after 8 hours, you get overtime. So you got 8 hours of your hourly that you're taxed on. Then you have 4 hours in that day that automatically overtime kicks in. And then if you pick up any overtime after that, you got another overtime. So Florida it's crazy pay. That's what we call it. And it's hard to keep up with. A lot of nurses get frustrated, but I ask all the nurses to document. And anytime, because after you make so much money there, and their pay packages run anywhere from $2,400 to $2,600 a week. Pretty good, and that's not counting your overtime. So if you look at calculating 12-hour shifts every day, overtime, the money you can make. So I'm just calculating what we would build a pay package for you. Other than that, it's over the top. And then you have Hawaii. Every nurse want to go to Hawaii. But I'm going to be honest with you. Hawaii in itself is very expensive. It's more expensive than California. So with Hawaii, you want to go, but I mean, it's decent pay. You could do it. But I would ask any nurse that want to go to Hawaii, I would say make sure you have money saved up. Because even though you're making decent money, the cost of living there is expensive. To get a place is expensive. Unless you come, I would say pairs. I would say if you travel, you have a traveling buddy that you did travel before or you want to travel, get another nurse. And that way you both could go together, and then you could split the costs. That's the only way I would send a nurse to Hawaii because it is very expensive. Of course, everybody want to go to Honolulu. It's so expensive there. But again, you're going to make at least $1,800, $1,900 a week. The majority of that, we try to build that into your pay package. That way you don't spend a lot of money on housing, on your hourly rate that's taxed. So that's something I would look at. Now, if you really want to go to places like Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, they too have beaches and beautiful beaches. The cost of living is not as expensive as going to California or Hawaii. Anywhere that you want to go to the beach in the cold months, because that's what nurses do when they travel. They decide, I want to get out of the cold states during the winter, which is a smart thing to do. So that's something I would look at. But again, talk to me, give me a call. I would definitely want to educate you on that. Travel nursing, you might feel uncomfortable being away from your family, but it's a good thing for you. I have a daughter, a nurse. Yes, I have a daughter that's a nurse, 2 of them actually, and they do travel contracts. They do them every 6 months. They keep their full-time jobs. They let them know they'll do per diem, because what they do is they do their 36 hours, they come home, and then they do a shift at their regular job. And that way you could keep your regular job and then pick up a travel contract. We also have 8-week contracts. The lowest, now we're getting ready to do corrections, which a lot of nurses like working in the correction facilities. So that's another thing. The money is pretty good money, actually. I would say a RN makes $1,700 to $1,800 on a correction job with a 13-week contract. Now, corrections do go to 6-week contracts, 8-week contracts, and 13. That is the only, hospitals do not do that, only corrections. So if that's something you're interested in, I know a lot of nurses for some reason love to work in corrections, and I understand why, and let me tell you why. Because in a correction facility, you are secured. There's no interaction with prisoners walking around. You're just doing paperwork, getting meds ready, passing out meds through a door. You don't have any interaction with the prisoners at all. So that's why nurses like to do travel contracts. But even though you do a travel contract in a correctional facility, I would ask any nurse to please keep your per diem status up, because working in a correction facility is not bedside nursing. And as you know, as a nurse, you could lose your bedside nursing if you continually work in a correction facility, because it is not bedside. You're just passing out meds and doing paperwork. So that's another avenue, and it's very lucrative for a nurse. I mean, nurses love it. You have to do a process, but it's a good process that you could also do. And personally, I have so many nurses that I work with that love what they do via corrections, hospitals, some hospice. There's different, so I don't want a nurse who works hospice to think they can't do a contract, or a nurse who works in home health, they can't do a contract. Now, to do a home health contract, you would definitely have to do it in your state, because a home health nurse has to go out and do visits. I would not send a nurse to Florida to do home health. You don't know the demographics of that city. It would not be doable for you. So those type of nurses, I would say stay close to home. Just work in your own backyard. And a new traveler, I would tell that new traveler to work in your own backyard. I tell every new traveler, I don't want to put you out into a different state until you learn and feel comfortable being in a different environment. So if this is something that you might be interested in, please reach out to me. I would like to discuss this more in depth with you, educate you before you even think about it. Put it on, if you have it on your to-do list to become a traveler. Talk to someone It could be me, it could be another recruiter, but you want to be educated first, because you don't want to go out there. Now you done went through the whole process, like I'm dealing with a nurse now, going through the whole process, but I think she's thinking, oh, what did I do? Here she is to be on the contract on next Monday, and we just get the contract signed from her today. That lets me know she really didn't think it out right. She didn't plan. And I believe if you don't plan, you will fail. And we don't want you to fail. We want you to be able to be successful. So if this is something you want to discuss, please give me a call, 918-622-2588, trinityemployment.com.